Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. You're never going to guess what happened in tonight's Blackhawks game. They lost.
They gave up the first goal.
They gave up the first goal.
And the second goal.
And the second.
And the
And
third.
the third goal.
The third goal.
But then they got one.
They got one.
And then they got an empty net goal.
And they gave up a hat trick.
For the second time in 3 games.
Yeah. This team blows.
It is their...
There's kids here now.
Yeah,
Watch it.
six losses in a row. In those 6 games, they've scored a total of 6 goals, 3 of which came against the Washington Capitals. This is what we signed up for. This is what a rebuild feels like.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And, oof.
This is what we had to prepare ourselves for, and this is what we did our best to prepare Blackhawks fans for. This is the tank. If you haven't jumped on board yet, this is hop on board now. This is the tank. This is it. Are you in? Are you in for it? You in for these kinds of games? Because if you're not,
No, please be in. We need you to be
see
in.
you when they're competitive again.
We're not giving you the choice. You're in with us because we can't do this without you. And speaking of that, make sure you smash that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Also, if you're listening to the audio podcast, make sure you're following us on Spotify or subscribed on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us out when you do those things. And if you're feeling frisky, a 5-star review would really be terrific. We've got a lot to get to today. Our daily poll, which we've been doing in the YouTubes. This came up a little bit last night. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, but we might tonight. Is Patrick Kane's lack of production hurting his trade value? He has 4 goals as it stands right now. He is on pace for 11. If he continues at the scoring pace, which would obviously be a career low.
Yes.
I don't know. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but we want to get your vote. So make sure if you're on YouTube, you vote on that poll for us so we can react to it later in the show. I don't even really know where to start with this one, fellas, because I don't know why this one feels crappier. Maybe because it's a road game.
Because we saw the same thing last night.
Maybe.
And then and many other nights this season. We've seen the same script over and over.
We're talking about these kings of the game, the DraftKings king of the game, and our 4 stars of the night. We just look at each other like, who's playing well?
Who's got more than 2 shots on goal? That's
right.
my guy.
Right.
What was the stat you gave about the defenseman?
At one point, I don't know what the final stat. I could look it up real quick.
It was when they had
I'll do it while you give it.
It was at very close to the end of the game. The defenseman had accounted for 12 of the 26 shots. They got 4 shots since then, so we got 5, 6, 9, 10. 12. So there's still 12. 12 of the 30 shots on goal came from defensemen. So you got 18 shots from your forwards.
Yep.
In 60 minutes of hockey. That's just not going to get it done. And most of those shots were not memorable in any way, shape, or form. I mean,
not a lot of quality.
Marc-Andre Fleury had a pretty easy night tonight.
Yeah.
As did Logan Thompson last night. They got helped out by a couple posts. As did the guy that started the game before and the guy that started. I had a great conversation last night when I got to the game a little early in the press box with the, I'm going to call him legendary because he's legendary here. Bruce Miles does an amazing job.
Drop this name. You want to pick it up?
Right. I don't have. We're in the press box.
I was going to do that no matter who you said. I'm sorry.
I actually thought I dropped. But Bruce Miles, longtime Chicago sports writer, does a great job covering the Hawks for NHL.com with Tracy Myers. There's another name I dropped. But we're talking before the game last night, and we both kind of just like, it is absolutely remarkable. It's not just the Blackhawks are losing every night. They're losing the same way.
It's the same game
The
every
game
night.
That's why it's rough to watch right now, because you could sit there. We could record this show 4 hours before puck drop and probably give you the same exact show, and we could just voice over the guys who scored for the other team.
Dude, you joke, Yet the three of us place the same bet on DraftKings every night. Hawks to give up the first goal, Hawks to be trailing after the first, and now and again we'll pepper in maybe a goal scorer here and there.
Free money.
I did tonight with Kaprizov. Ching.
Yeah.
More money for me.
Money.
It is free effing money.
And enjoy the next crew that covers, because we're winning so much money off those bets. We're going to be able to retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it's the same game every time. Give up the first goal, fall behind 2-0, make it 2-1, go behind 3-1, and then you bust your ass in the third period with nothing to show for it, and you lose 3-1 or 4-1 or whatever. It's the same game. They've played 29 games this year. No, 28.
29.
This is 29 tonight.
They've given up the first goal 24 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's 18 or 19 times they've gone down 2-0.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And then we're going to have to hear the players and Luke Richardson talk about, well, we've got to have a better start. We got to get that first goal. Give it up. You're not scoring first ever again until you get Connor Bedard.
So here's the thing. We've talked a lot about that. And Luke says being behind forces you out of your game plan. You start to chase. That shouldn't happen when you're down 1-0.
Right.
Every hockey game, someone's going to be down 1-0. You shouldn't completely abandon your game plan because you're down a goal. And we have said many, many nights, and you just said it, this game is similar to every game we've seen. For the first time in a long time, I felt like the effort wasn't there tonight as much as it usually is. And maybe it's because I wasn't in the building for 40 of the 60 minutes like I usually am and getting the full atmosphere or whatever. Emily Kaplan said during the third period, there's not a lot of emotion on the Blackhawks bench right now.
Yeah.
After that, she said Jonathan Toews and Jared Tenorti and others are encouraging guys to keep going, keep playing hard. But overall, and look, if you're going to excuse it, back-to-back games, playing at home, then on the road, it's not an ideal situation. But I did not sense the compete level from the Blackhawks that we have gotten for most of the other 29 games of the year. I just didn't. Maybe it's just me. I see Sam in the chat sort of agrees with me that the effort wasn't there tonight. 5 shots on goal in the third period when you're down. It's just, yes, it's definitely talent. That is the main problem here. But this one, I did not love the overall effort, and we're seeing guys get frustrated. It's starting to take effect, and I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go for the next, 50-some games.
It has to be, as much as they can say, we're trying not to let the frustrations set in. This is almost 30 games of the same script over and over, and we talk about a number of times how they have to play a perfect game to have a chance to win, and allowing the first goal, allowing the second goal, like those aren't just one-off mistakes that end up in the back of your net that you can recover from. This isn't a team that's built that way. It's a lot of small things with this team that seem to build up, that lead up to allowing the first goal. Sometimes those small things happen really quickly, like giving up the first goal on the fourth shot of the game in 25 seconds to the Washington Capitals. But this is just, this team doesn't have the horses to mount these continuous comebacks. We talked about it during the game. They have 7 wins this season. How many of them were like where they held a lead through, for a long stretch of the game? 2, maybe.
Yeah,
they've had to mount comebacks in some of these wins, and mount comebacks even in games where they lose. It's mounting comeback after comeback after comeback, and it's playing from behind constantly. As far as energy level goes, I bet this, if you would, hook up some electro things or whatever they do to calculate energy exerted or things like that, this team's probably played 45, 50 games worth of hockey just in trying to continuously come back and fight back and fight back. Whereas most of their opponents on most nights, they walk into the building going, all right, here are the Blackhawks. It's a get right game. Or it's, hey, you know what? We can go 80% tonight and still get a win. Multi-goal win. So the frustration of no offense, the frustration of small mistakes building up, and the frustration of not being able to do anything besides win faceoffs, like, it's got to be seeping in. And I don't know if that plays into, guys starting to tune things out. I hope not, because Luke Richardson, as difficult as of a job as he was given with, here, have this last place roster and make something out of it, he has been able to say the right things, keep the right attitude, and really try and push the right buttons. I just hope that those buttons still work for this team. I just hope that players are not starting to look for the exit doors as easy and as understandable as it would be for them at this point of the season.
Frustration is starting to seep in. You saw it Tuesday, Jonathan Toews.
Yeah.
And it was Jake McCabe's post-game interview last night was very Jake McCabe-like. Yes, he's a all-business guy. He's not a guy that's going to tell jokes and be laughing about it, but he was not happy last night after that loss, to where he was even a little, I don't want to say standoffish, but a little, he's just like...
Short, peeved.
Yeah, very. And he was just like, last thing I want to do is answer questions about another 3-1 loss. But, he's a veteran. He did it. But he was very frustrated last night. So it is seeping in a little bit, and it's not a surprise. And to be honest with you, if there was no frustration, I'd be a little more worried, because then it's like, well, these guys really don't care. Like,
right, yeah.
So,
if it was,
I do like seeing some of these veterans getting mad and getting frustrated, because, I'm sure this is some of the worst experiences for these guys. Obviously Jonathan Toews never played on a team this bad.
No.
Jake McCabe had some rough seasons in Buffalo.
Yes.
But, those seasons, at least maybe had like, hey, maybe this team won't be that. Maybe this is the year they kind of compete. But it's just, I don't know how some of these guys do it every night, but they're professionals. It's what they're getting paid for.
Hey, it's what we're doing.
It's what we're doing. Yeah, I mean,
to a different degree.
Yeah.
we're not getting paid quite as much as those guys are, but so I kind of get that mentality. Like, hey, this is what we want to do. Do it. So I don't know if Luke will like lose a room or anything like that. I don't think we have to get to that point. Because I think the room is going to be completely different here in a few weeks.
It might be, yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is at this point. This is exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like we were talking earlier. We had the great CHGO takeover of the Bulls game tonight, and then the Bulls played and ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, they sure did.
But. We were talking with Steven and Kyle, who's filling in on our Bulls show. Like, who's doing a better job tanking, the Blackhawks or the Bulls? Well, it's the Hawks, because this is exactly where they wanted to be at this point of the season. Right. Bulls had playoff expectations. So, the plan is going, like, nobody can be shocked or mad that this team is bad. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. It is amazing that the three of us on Twitter every once in a while still have to explain what's going on here.
Oh, it's amazing.
To flat out dopes. I'm sorry.
He's like, why can't we go back to 2015? Like, the Hawks considered either winning a Stanley Cup or completely sucking balls, and they just chose to suck balls.
Yeah.
They wanted to do that. That's come on.
If we're at this point of the year and you're coming to us in the chat or on Twitter or something, and you say, this team has no direction, you're straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight right to jail.
Yeah.
Like,
to jail.
you are willfully ignorant of what this team is supposed to be doing. And it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be being in last place. Look at this roster. Do you think this was going to be in the a playoff team? No. Like, this is a new leadership that actually has an eye on the future. You can't just look at the right here. You can't look at the 6 inches in front of your face to take a line from any given Sunday. You have to look at next year and the year after and the year after. You have some foresight. Our friend who our festive snowman is named after didn't have that foresight. Stan Snowman. He had the idea of, well, next year's problems are next year's problems. No. Now they're this year's problems.
Yeah.
And Kyle Davidson has to clean that up. And he's doing it by literally sweeping everything away and saying, all right, new stuff. Give me new stuff. I want new things.
Yeah, there's some super chats we got to get to, but there's some other great chats too. Brandon Sikora says he wants to see Reichel up here for some reason.
Patience.
Well, it'd be entertaining, but there's no point to bring him up here now. Windy City Hockey says, is Bill Murray on the team? Because this is Groundhog's Day.
I wish.
With the Blackhawks. That'd be a little more entertaining.
That'd be fun.
And we've got a new chat contributor, Young Dangle God. He says, hi from Ohio. Started listening this summer and haven't missed an episode.
Nice.
Spotify Wrapped had you as my #1 podcast. Love
Prove
listening
it.
to you guys.
Let's see it.
Thank you, Young Dangle God.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
Thanks for the love from Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, but so the main chat, I want to scroll up a little bit here, Steven. I think it was, there you go. It's Ken. I know the game plan was to tear it down, but do you think management thought it would be this bad night after night? Yes. There's no compete in this team.
That's not true.
That's flatly
That's not true.
Flatly false.
Sam also said something about this team doesn't care. You're wrong.
It's wrong. That's
You're
totally wrong.
Okay, go to a practice. Go be in the locker room. Watch this game in person. The effort is there. The compete is there.
You saw Seth Jones break his stick over the boards after the empty netter was scored.
Yeah. That's a frustration because he's a freaking competitive guy, and they don't want to be losing 3-1, 4-1. They don't want to be losing these kinds of games. They don't want to, you don't want to have a breakdown that leads to an empty net goal, even though you're down 3-1 with a minute left. Like if he just ho-hum skated by, then maybe you're like, wow, maybe he just conceded the empty net goal. Like no, like the physical frustrations that they are showing is a measurement of how much that they care to not lose this way. Yeah. These guys want to win. Look at the efforts of guys like Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty and Connor Murphy, and a lot of the guys that play the hard style of hockey. Like those guys, if they're not into it, you would definitely see it, and they are into it.
Yep.
Dive in to break up 2-on-1s. Finishing checks. Like this team doesn't have a lot of good things going for them when they have the puck on their stick, as infrequent as it is, so they have to make up for it in other ways. And it's effort plays like that that they're trying to stay in these games. And if they weren't making those plays, if they were just coasting to 4-1 losses, then we'd have a lot bigger problem.
Yeah. Sam says they want out of town. It's just a fact. Well, you can't just say something's a fact and that makes it a fact.
I'm glad you're their agent and they're calling you.
Well, guess what?
Trade.
If they want out of town, all they have to do is say, trade me right effing now, and they'll accommodate it.
Worked in the movies.
The Hawks are waiting for them to say that to them.
Yes.
They're waiting for the ability to trade Toews and Kane. That's what they want to happen. If they want it out, they would say, we trade us. We want out. We don't want to be part of this anymore. From what we understand, those conversations are scheduled to happen after Christmas. Mm-hmm. Toews and Kane, and who knows who else, is going to meet with Kyle Davidson, and they're going to discuss the future. So we should have a little bit of clarity going forward, but there is none now. So saying it's a fact that they want out of town that's not what a fact is.
Right.
A fact is a fact is a fact. Someone else compared up earlier. I think it was Nate, comparing the Bulls and the Hawks. Nate says, I'd rather be the Hawks than the Bulls. The Hawks are tanking in the hopes of rebuilding and unloading salaries. The Bulls have 4 terrible contracts and no direction. Yes, exactly. It is very hard to watch this rebuild because the Hawks are intentionally this bad. This is exactly what they thought was going to happen when they put this roster together. Meanwhile, the other team that plays at the United Center just signed a guy to a max contract who can't stay healthy. They've got another guy they've banked their entire franchise on who hasn't played in, a year?
Yeah.
The guys they've traded for are second, third tier guys that aren't really going to help catapult you into the playoffs. You're going to be in the middle of the NBA draft, which doesn't help you at all. The Hawks have a very, very clear direction. A very clear direction.
Yeah.
Part of that direction is a year or 2, maybe 3, of pain and suffering. But if all goes as planned, and just look at the jump they made as a franchise from the end of last season to the beginning of this one with the guys they drafted and the high levels of praise from Korchinski to Frank Nazar's hurt, but people love that pick.
Yeah.
Samuel Savoie got hurt tonight, but has been lighting it up. Like a lot of guys. Yeah. They've got 5 guys playing for Team Canada in the World Junior Championships.
4.
Okay.
But five were invited to camp.
Yeah, 5 invites.
One probably should have still made the team.
Right.
But yeah, I think something that a lot of fans are. It's part of what grappling with this season and these frustrations as a fan comes into play is that how close it is to the narrative of this team was supposed to be competing. That was last season. That was last summer when we were talking about, hey, this team could be a playoff team, and now it's completely tear down to the studs rebuild, and it's a conditioning that we've had as fans of this Blackhawks team's competitive. They're competitive. They're one of the top tier teams in the league. Marquee games on NBC and on TNT and ESPN and all that stuff for the last couple of years, and now we're in this place where they're last in the league, and for a lot of people, they understand that that's what you need to do to get guys that can change the future. But I think a lot of people are still conditioned to think like, well, I want to watch a winning hockey team. Why aren't they a winning hockey team? And it's got to go beyond this season. It's got to go beyond the next season. It's 2, 3, 4 seasons down the road that you have to look at and say, what is this team going to be? We've talked about it before. You look at the cap friendly page. This team, this roster may have one player, that makes it that is on the roster in 2 years.
That's Seth Jones. Yeah,
and that's it.
Because even Kurashev, who we all like, is not a sure thing.
No, and he's an RFA this summer.
Right.
Like it's so. There's going to be so much turnover and so much change. So you can't. I don't want to tell people how to fan, but putting eggs in this year's basket is going to be bad for your health. And if you're still doing it, I beg you, please
let it go.
Take some of those eggs back. You're going to need them later.
All right, we are way behind on our ad copy, so we got to start getting to that. And I want to remind everybody, you may have noticed it's hockey season. Light the lap this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers, listen up. Bet $5 pregame money line on any NHL team to win their game, the Blackhawks opponent, and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. That's what I did today, and I won again. Mm-hmm. I had the Wild scoring first, the Wild leading after one period, and Kirill Kaprizov scoring a goal, 3 for 3. Jeez. I just turned $5 into 12.
Get you on CHGO bets.
Boom! How about that? That's how you do it with those same game parlays. They're so much fun. But any way you want to bet, you can do it on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use the code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Hey, when you're winning all that money betting on whoever the Blackhawks are playing to score first, you could take those winnings and head over to Game Time and buy tickets to whatever the heck you want. Sporting events, concerts, shows. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals. Ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could? Right at center ice for a Hawks game, maybe you like them 200 level seats better. Those are the best seats in the house, 200 level. You want to sit right behind the penalty box so you can hear guys say dirty words and swear at each other? Well, it's possible with Game Time. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy, and you will not find a better deal on Chicago Blackhawks tickets this season. Checking it out right now. You want to go to tomorrow night's game home against the New York Rangers, original 6 matchup. Artemi Panarin back in town. $30 gets you in the door at the United Center for that. $26 if you'd rather go Wednesday night and see the boring-ass Nashville Predators. Not sure why you want to do that, but just scrolling down the list here. January 17th, Jay Zawaski's new favorite player, Tage Thompson, and the Buffalo Sabres are in town. You can get in for $17.
Not bad.
Big tank game on February 7th. $19 against the Anaheim Ducks. So there are plenty of games where you're going to be able to get in for under $20. And you won't. And if you find tickets to the Blackhawk games or any event cheaper on any site, let Game Time know. They're going to match it for you. Game Time's created by the fans, for the fans, guarantees the lowest price. And if you love CHGO, then you'll love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the podcast description. Whether you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching right now, scroll down, hit that giant thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. That's going to be a huge for us going forward. And then you'll see the link to Game Time right there. So anytime you're thinking about buying Blackhawk tickets or tickets to any event that requires a ticket to enter the facility, click on that link and buy them from Game Time.
See a super chat here from Brandon asking for an Ice Hogs update.
Yep.
They lost tonight to the Toronto Marlies 4-3. Let's see. Goal scorers were Brett Seney twice and Cole Gutman.
Nope.
And Cole Gutman and
No,
Brett
it was Isaac Phillips.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cole Gutman
Brett
and
Seney
Brett
had
Seney.
a goal
taken away. Yeah.
Goal taken back. That's right. So Isaac Phillips, Brett Seney, Cole Gutman are the goal scorers. Seney and Gutman both with a goal and an assist. Other assists tonight to Dylan Sakura, Jakob Galvis, Lucas Reichel, and David Gust. So there's your Ice Hogs update.
There you go. By the way, speaking of supporting CHGO, it's a good time to become a diehard at allchgo.com. We just had our Bulls takeover tonight. Everybody who went to that game, and it was sold out, saved 20% on their takeover tickets. We have a Hawks takeover happening next month. Mm-hmm. Details will be coming in soon, hopefully sometime within the next week or so. You'll be hanging out with the three of us at the United Center, watching a Hawks game, partying before, partying after. There's some folks here who were at the game watching the Bulls postgame in the other room. So it's a great time to become a diehard. And if you've got a Chicago sports fan in your life and you're looking for that perfect holiday gift memberships are available at allchgo.com. So jump on to that. Fellas, why don't we get into our 4 stars of the game, and we'll do our DraftKings King of the Game after that. And then we got to get into our little bit of the poll topic here. If you've not already voted, we've got a poll running on the YouTube page. Is Patrick Kane's lack of production hurting his trade value? Make sure if you've not already voted on that to do so and to smash that like button. My 4-star, I'm going to give it to, what did I say? Jonathan Toews? Yeah, sure, that works. Jonathan Toews won 16 faceoffs and lost 5. When I made that vote, he had 0 shots on goal. He ended the game with 4. So better late in the game for Jonathan Toews. And look, it's one of those nights where it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, great. So he gets my 4-star for his continued face-off dominance and for having a pretty solid third period when the rest of his team really wasn't. And a goal, of course.
Oh, they're allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
On the power play.
I went with Seth Jones as my 4th star of the game. Led the team with 5 shots on goal. That's 1/6 of the entire team shots came from Seth Jones. Of course, led the team in ice time, 22.5 minutes. Had an assist on the Toews goal. Was only on the ice for 1 goal against, and it was that empty netter at the end of the game. 5 shots on goal. Had a hit. 4 blocked shots. And played over 4.5 minutes on the power play as well. So Seth Jones, and as our buddy Lafferty, Daniel said earlier in the chat, his salary value from our graph buddy Dom at the Athletic might be going up because ever since he's been split up from Jack Johnson, his analytics, his blue lines are getting longer and longer, and that might have something to do with, no offense to Jack Johnson, but not having Jack Johnson next to Seth Jones might allow Seth Jones to be more like Seth Jones. And he had a very Seth Jones-ish night tonight.
Listen, far be it from me to disagree with the blue lines, because my 4th star of the night was Jake McCabe. And he's paired with Seth Jones. And for the last 2 games, the best 2 analytical Blackhawks in these losses have been Seth Jones and Jake McCabe.
I think we should leave those two together then.
Yeah.
You put your two best defensemen together, good things happen.
Yeah, usually. McCabe tonight, 3 shots on goal, 3 blocks, a takeaway, 17 and a half minutes of ice time. He had he broke up a 2-on-1 with a great Brent Seabrook diving play. Look, we talked about it earlier. This team the talent gap is the issue. It's not the effort gap, and Jake McCabe is one of the guys that for 29 games this season, every time he's been in the lineup, you never question the heart and the effort that he's going to put in. So I think tonight was another game where that stood out amongst a sea of less than mediocrity from this Blackhawks team. So I gave it to McCabe. And yeah, look, like, you know, we do make our analytical jokes, but it says something when those guys have that kind of impact when put together, Jones and McCabe.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I know there's been a lot of chatter about trading Connor Murphy and or Jake McCabe, and the more I see him continue to play this season, the less I want McCabe traded. Unless you're getting a first-round pick for him or 2 second-round picks or whatever, I want him to be a part of this team.
Jake McCabe
in the locker room, on the ice.
He is a perfect guy for this franchise where they're at. Now, he may not be like, I know he had, when he signed that 4-year deal last offseason, it was like, hey,
he had aspirations.
Look what's going on. I finally get to get out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And now I'm right back in the crap again. You know, but he saw, hey, they just got Seth Jones. They got Marc-Andre Fleury. This could be a good team. But he even said it last night in his very brief post-game media scrum. I think it was Phil Thompson asked him, you know, how is it? What can you do as a veteran not like kind of break up the mood in the locker room, not let the frustration set in? And he says, I don't really say much. I lead by example. I lead by busting my ass on the ice. And he does that.
That's true.
This is a guy that when in the August and September, we had thought probably wouldn't even be making his season debut to right about now.
Right.
And here he is, you know, he's been out there all night.
Surgery.
Apparently, Big Dave
is fired up.
Big Dave is upset. He is carrying the decibel level for him and Peck.
He's busting through the soundproof walls here. He's testing that soundproofing. But
maybe we need to get Big Dave a couple of shifts with the Hawks, man, with that kind of passion, that kind of fire and passion, my friend.
I like that idea.
He's got the size, too.
But
he's big. That's why they call him Big Dave.
To wrap it up, I love me some Jake McCabe.
Yeah, me too.
He is probably my favorite player on the team to watch on a nightly basis because I know every shift is 100%.
We should go do like a Chris Farley-esque 3-way interview with him at practice. Remember?
If we can catch him.
Remember when you laid down and took the puck away? That was awesome.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't know how much of a sense of humor Jake McCabe has, or
it's very dry,
or how much.
He had a really nice Christmas sweater the other night.
Yes, he did. He had a little heart shaped.
Sure.
Yeah, it was very cute. I think Jake McCabe would just like smack us after a couple of those questions. Like, really? Get these idiots out of here. Revoke their credentials.
Fine.
We'll have to go back to Mackenzie Entwistle for that.
I'll just admire him from a distance. We've got some post-game quotes rolling in here.
Plus, he scares me.
Head coach Luke Richardson, quote, "We battled right to the end, but unfortunately, we just don't have enough right now. We have to be almost perfect. The last 2 games, much better, but our play has still got to go up to win in this league."
Man, it's like Richardson watches us and then talks to the media.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Max Domi, obviously we're going through it right now, and we all recognize that, but we're not going to quit. We're not just going to stand down. We have to find a way to get one here. And he said he was kicking himself for not burying his chance in the first that Eriksson blocked. And Peter Mrazek on his really awesome stick save, he says it's desperation. It's a lucky save. I saw they had empty net. I didn't have anything else to help get there, so I was just trying to focus on the release and put the stick there. There you go.
Yep.
So we should get to Peter Mrazek, by the way, because guess what, folks? He is our DraftKings King of the Game. Much better game in this one from Peter Mrazek. several high danger saves, post to post. Now, the one he gave up, the third one, was pretty bad.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was one of his three nets
doing
lost.
his Alex Stalock impression, completely leaving the crease.
A little aggressive.
But otherwise, made up for it with a bunch of nice glove saves early, a couple post-to-post pad saves, and, of course, if you've not seen it yet, check out the 6 save where he reached across with the paddle and batted it out of the air. Yeah, it was lucky, but he made it. 18 saves, 3 goals allowed, and 3 nets lost, which is accurate.
I mean,
but solid game for him.
The three goals allowed, I mean, you'd shake your head at it, but he was making some huge saves. This game could have been 7-1. Like he was a big difference maker in this game, not getting out of hand before it actually did.
It was his best game as a Blackhawk. Because not only was he making some of those big saves, the key was he was make the big save and absorb it. That he wasn't giving up the rebounds that we're used to seeing. He wasn't kicking them right back to center ice. He made a couple of nice glove saves where he was able to just hold on to it and get a whistle. Yeah. Best game he's had as a Blackhawk. Yes, a couple of those goals, you're like, well, that's a Peter Mrazek goal, but overall, very good effort from him tonight. Nice way to bounce back after a pretty embarrassing performance against Washington.
Yeah, it was not good against the Caps. And best game, I feel like there was a game early where he was really good, but this is certainly in the team photo. It's on the Mount Rushmore. Peter Mrazek.
He hasn't had a lot of great games, so it's not a big sample size to choose from for his best game. But yeah, this was one of his better efforts, and he kept both groins. So good job.
Yeah, maybe that San Jose game. We think wasn't he pretty good in that San Jose game?
Yeah, I think so.
They won. So that helps.
We have our weekly fan of the other team coming in here trying to troll a team that is losing on purpose. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Go Wild, and thank you for helping us get one step closer to Connor Bedard.
By the way, enjoy the next 5 years of Wild hockey when you are still paying for Zach Parise and Brian Suter and probably Neil Broughton.
As they're both
Mike Madonna.
As they're both having fairly productive seasons for other teams.
Yep. Anyway, I don't get the whole coming in to troll the team that is intentionally the worst team in hockey.
But when you do, make sure you hit the like button.
Yes.
Yeah, well, smash the like button, though. Yeah, we appreciate you being here.
You can troll our team if you give us a like.
Yeah.
I think we had a comment earlier asking about Alex Stalock, if there's an update. It looks like he's close. Anytime there's concussions, you got to we can't give a definitive.
Yeah.
But he looks close. He has full participation in practice. Looks like it could be next week at some point.
And he had been close before and then was kind of pulling back because of, with concussions, when you exert yourself like that, you don't bounce back the right way. You don't want to keep pushing it. So, yeah, it would be nice if he was able to be healthy, be cleared, not have to deal with any concussion symptoms, and be able to get back in net. That'd be good.
I think he's close. He's been, as Jay said, a full participant in practice and taking a lot of shots. There was it Wednesday's practice where Mrazek didn't practice at all, so Stalock had the full practice. He's been at all the optional skates. So he's been doing it back-to-back days, where before it was like he was there for a day, took some shots, and then he wasn't there for 2 or 3 days. So he's had at least 4 or 5 full practices under his belt in the role. So my guess it will be soon. Maybe they'll wait till after Christmas, let him, get another week of practice in, and then after Christmas.
Well, and the roster freeze is coming up too. So
yeah, so they would have to do. Well, does the roster freeze include injuries, or is that more to just do with trades? Like if you got a guy that's healthy, you should be able to get him off.
That includes like call ups and send-downs, right? So if Stalock was activated, wouldn't they have to, because of roster size, have to send down Soderblom?
Yeah, but I'm not. See, I don't know. I think the roster freeze doesn't include guys who are were on the IR at the beginning. Like if they're healthy to come back, I think that's like the exception to that rule. Because if someone gets hurt during the roster freeze, you have to be able to bring somebody up to replace them.
Here you go. Teams may recall players as needed, but they may not trade.
Yeah, I think the roster freeze is more for trades. There's no trades over Christmas.
Yeah, right. Which is a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
Sure.
Merry Christmas. Here's a plane ticket. You're
Hey, I
going.
know
You're
you're,
going to Calgary.
I know you're opening gifts, but you're an Edmonton
You've been
Oiler now.
traded.
Congratulations.
Hope you didn't buy your kids too many Blackhawks sweaters this year because you guys are
Yeah.
off to San Jose.
All right, do we want to do? Let's have a production meeting on the air here.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into the Kane topic now, or should we do the tank standings now and do the Kane thing later?
Let's do tank standings now because I feel like these two things they're kind
All
of
right,
tied
we're
together.
gonna update the tank standings. Then we're gonna tell you about our fine sponsors. Then we're gonna get into some Patrick Kane
I'm
discussion.
pumped. This is the first time I'm going to see the Hawks in person.
Yeah, let's do it.
I missed it last night.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
The Blackhawks now
baby.
technically do not have the lowest point percentage because of games in hand on the Ducks, but they have the fewest amount of points. So have 18 points in 29 games. The Anaheim Ducks have 19 points in 31 games. Columbus, 22 points in 29 games. Arizona, 22 and 27, and they are currently tied with the Islanders in the second intermission. And San Jose is fifth in the tank standings, 25 points in 31 games. So technically,
PHNX.
the Ducks lead the tank standings still, but we talked about this yesterday. We are all sort of predicting a bit of a rebound for the Ducks here at some point, and
Yeah.
we think the Hawks are probably going to just keep doing what they're doing. So, all right, we're going to do the draft tank simulator now. We need to reset that first, and then we're going to smash that sim lottery button and see how it goes. This always makes me nervous. It's like it's a real thing happening.
All right, guys, we ready?
Here we go.
We're
Yeah,
getting the
let's
draft
do
this
it.
time for the first
Yeah.
time. Here we go.
I hate it. I get so
Let's do it.
scared.
Let's do it. Let's do
Oh no!
it. What happened? Where'd it go?
Ottawa
Jeez.
gets the first overall pick.
Hawks
Columbus
fourth.
second, Anaheim third, and the Hawks fourth. How about the poor Coyotes? They actually only moved down a spot though to 6.
They go down.
All right,
two.
we cannot do this. We got to do it
Ooh.
again.
We're doing it again.
We
Sim
need
it
better
again.
vibes. We need
Ooh.
better
Sim it again.
vibes.
All right, one more reset, and here we go.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Da-da-da-da-da. Shit.
Oh, fourth
Oh.
again.
Oh,
Oh no!
the Tankathon is just messing with us tonight.
Ugh.
Speaking of trolls, Tankathon is trolling us
Tankathon
hard.
giving the Blues the second overall pick.
Tankathon is based out of St. Louis, isn't it? The way they keep,
has to be.
The way they keep giving them love, they keep wanting to force the Blues there.
I hate it here.
It has to be. That's got to be the case.
All right, we need to
pain.
find a new website.
Cleanse the
Can't
palate.
trust Tankathon. Ay ay ay. Fourth. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give you a little look into the future. The day of the draft lottery, I am going to be a ball of nerves. I am going to be nervous all day.
I if they don't walk away with 1 or 2 on draft lottery day, I may actually cry. Like I may actually cry.
It's 3 or you're talking about 3. If it's 3 or 4, it's Leo Carlson. It's Matvei Michkov, who could be
Which like
5 years removed from the
they're
NHL though.
great prospects, but it's not
Yeah,
the player who can step in day one and make a difference.
It's like going back to the Patrick Kane draft and getting Kyle Turris instead.
oh God, I hope not.
Yeah, and the best part
Oh, I
is
hope not.
the best part is we're going to be live when that happens. So you're going to get our reaction along with your reaction.
Our raw emotions.
Yes. Thank God there's no FCC on the YouTubes.
Yeah, that's true. Oof. All right. Well, hopefully we have better vibes on actual draft lottery night than we've had on our fictional draft lottery nights because they've not gone well.
ugh.
They've not gone well. But if you need to improve those vibes and improve your wardrobe, you can head over to our friends at Pins and Aces. Get yourself some amazing golf apparel, or get your friend or family member some golf apparel for the holidays. Makes a great gift. Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of CHGO and the presenting sponsor of the Big Drive Energy Golf Podcast on the All City Network. And we love our Pins and Aces gear. They are a family-owned and operated golf and apparel business, which is great. They make awesome polos, hats, golf bags that can be customizable. And, of course, the fan favorite beer sleeve, the product that allows you to store up to 7 of your favorite beers right there inside your golf bag and keep them cold for the entire round. That's definitely needed in my golf bag. To get yourself some of the Pins and Aces gear or that beer sleeve, go to pinsandaces.com. And when you do, use the promo code CHGO, and you're going to get 15% off of your first order, and you're going to get free shipping on that order. Again, that's the promo code CHGO at pinsandaces.com.
Hey, and what's a perfect accessory for your sweet-looking Pins and Rays
Pins
gear?
and Aces?
That's what I'm at. Pins and
Rays.
I'm going to guess Shady Rays.
That's the perfect combo, the Pins and Rays combo.
The
Get
Shady
some Pins
Aces.
and Aces and some Shady Rays together on the golf course, and you'll never lose another round of golf in your life. Shady Rays never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. And by gosh, by golly, that's exactly what they've done. You do not have to break the bank for sunglasses this holiday season because our friends at Shady Rays have you and your precious eyeballs covered. Shady Rays are premium Polaroid shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays is they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Did you drop them in a frozen lake? Did you fall off a cliff? You know, that cliff over there on Michigan Avenue? Did they fall right off of there? Well, whatever. They'll replace it for free. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still managed to make quality. I could tell you for being a customer for the last couple of years, they are just as good as any expensive pair that are on the market today. And you'll have to blame me for the weather because I just got new pairs of Shady Rays. And since I got them, the sun has not come out for a single second.
Sun has died.
Yes, the sun has left for the winter.
Sun exploded.
Yes.
Requested a trade.
Hey, this is a type of year, this is a time of season you always want to do something nice for other people. Well, get yourself some Shady Rays because Shady Rays provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. So not only are you going to look really cool, but you're doing something really cool for those in need. They stand behind their product and told our team if anyone has a problem, they will throw profit right out the giant test window at the Shady Rays factory. They will do what it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. And for our lovely CHGO listeners, that's you guys and girls out there. Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout for 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. I'm no math genius, but that's buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at shadyrays.com, where you can find all the newest and best shades.
All right.
All right, let's stop shilling and talk some hockey, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we have to pay for this, whatever. Okay. Anyway, we're running a poll on our YouTube page. Is Patrick Kane's lack of production hurting his value? 4 goals in 29 games, on pace for 11 goals this year.
Got an assist tonight.
He leads the team in shots by like over 40 from like
Yeah.
the next closest guy.
He's firing.
He's shooting
Yeah.
4%. Current poll standings, 60% say yes, Patrick Kane's trade value is being hurt. 40% obviously saying no. I don't think that this 30-game sample size is going to scare off anybody from pursuing Patrick Kane. There is too big of a sample size before this of dominant play, had one of his best statistical seasons of all time just last year. It's not like it was 2, 3, 4 years removed. It was last year when he had another phenomenal over point per game season. The scouts around the league that are watching the Blackhawks play are not just watching Patrick Kane. They can see the rest of the bums playing on this team, and they know.
Oh, there goes our
Look,
interview
you're going to
with
see
McCabe.
when they get a 3rd or 4th round pick maybe for Max Domi or Athanasiou or whatever, right? Like, teams around the league know what this team is. They know what he's playing with. And also, there's no way in hell a 4% shooting percentage is going to remain. It is just impossible.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And I think my only concern is is if the environment is only playing a small factor. I wonder if, because he's talked about it before, how he has this nagging injury, quote unquote, that surgery won't help, that he's been dealt with for the last few years. The last time that he was asked about it was at the beginning of the season, and he said, "Oh, I actually feel great. I feel better than I did at the beginning of last season." And I don't know, is it nagging him again? I wonder. I wonder if there is something, maybe not just bad luck, not just bad puck luck, not just bad being snake bitten with the shooting percentage. I do question if everything physically is feeling great for him, because you would think that Patrick Kane at full health would be able to have a higher production rate, even with the quality of his teammates that he has, that he's playing with right now. So I don't know. I'm not saying I think he's hurt. I just start to wonder if something besides bad luck is starting to hinder him, besides poor quality of teammate is hindering him, and if this sample size of low shooting percentage, low productivity, if it becomes 35 games, 40 games, 45 games as the season goes on before he asks for a trade, I wonder if teams do start looking at that and start having some of the same questions, start having some of the same doubts. And if you look online, a lot of his analytical charts are not favorable.
They've never been, though.
And no, defensively, yes, I agree. Defensively, he has been terrible his entire career. He doesn't make $10.5 million to play defense. But offensively, they haven't been great. And teams look at that. Like we talk with Luke Richardson, and he puts an emphasis on getting analytical breakdowns from the team's analytics department. So teams look at things like that, and whether they put heavy weight on it, that's a team by team basis kind of thing. But teams look at that, and I think a lot of people around the league are starting to potentially wonder, do we want to give up this big haul of, a trade package, first round pick, top prospect, another first round pick, whatever it might end up being? Do we want to give that to a guy who may be a rental and who you're banking on his legacy and not the half or 2/3 of a season that he's put out in front of him?
I don't think it's hurting his value. It's still Patrick Kane. It's still Patrick Kane coming off one of the best seasons he had.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Kane shooting at a career low, microscopic low shooting percentage. If I'm the Colorado Avalanche and I can add him to that, I'm not worried about what his shooting percentage is.
Avalanche just need NHL players right now.
Well, yeah, but if I'm the Avalanche and I don't care he's shooting 4.5 with Max Domi on his line, I'm going to put him out there with Gabriel Landeskog and Mikko Rantanen, and he'll shoot 11%.
Yeah.
If I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I'm not worried about what he's doing here on this team. Or the Boston Bruins could be a team that might want a little offense to go with that. Don't count out the Vegas Golden Knights for somehow figuring out how to trade for him. They've got to be the team that makes the big trade every year. So, I don't think it's necessarily hurting his trade value. Somebody in the chat said something about the cap space. That's not the biggest issue. The Hawks can retain half the salary. They can find a third team to come in and get another one. They'll get away with that. I don't think
there's a will, there's a way.
It can happen. If Jack Eichel can get traded to a team that had 8 cents worth of cap space at the time, Patrick Kane can get traded. It will happen.
You find ways.
They'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have smart people in your front offices to find ways to make this work.
Plus the base salary, if a team you're worried about the actual financial, it's 2.9. And that's for the whole season.
And it's only like 25% of that.
Right.
So you're talking, less than $1 million of physical cash. Here's the one thing that I'm worried about is going to hinder his trade value. If he decides to trade and he only wants to go to one team,
right,
and that one team will know, that will hurt his trade. That will drive the trade value down worse than any stat that he has right now. If he says, I only want to go to the Colorado Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche only, you know damn well that's getting leaked to Joe Sakic, and he will know that, and he'll go, well, you either take this half-ass offer or you get nothing, and he walks for nothing at the end of the year.
That's true. However, if it does get out there that he wants to go to one team, say it's the Avalanche, say it's the Rangers or whatever, guess what? Rangers fans are going to catch wind of that, and they're going to say, Patrick Kane wants to come here, and you're not going to do it? Do it. Try to win. Try to win a Stanley Cup. That's what this is all about.
How well did that work in Toronto last year?
Well, I'm just saying. I think it's not as simple as a GM just playing complete hardball with the Hawks, because there's going to be pressure on that GM to get it done. And this is what we don't know about Kyle Davidson yet, is how he negotiates trades, right? Like, he got a freaking haul for Brandon Hagel, but an underwhelming return for Alex DeBrincat, right? Yeah. And there were factors weighing into both. Hagel was signed long-term for cheap. DeBrincat's a free agent after this year, so he's a question mark. It's not as simple, Lou Malnati's. It's not as simple as like just one for one, right? It doesn't work that way. Like, who's a better player, who's not. But this is what we're going to find out is what kind of stones does Kyle Davidson have? And look, like, we gave him a little bit of, I don't want to say praise, but like kind of understood like why they didn't move Dylan Strome for a 6th-round pick or whatever, which from what we were told was the biggest offer for him at the deadline, just kind of out of respect to Dylan Strome. But now we're seeing Dylan Strome thrive with Alex Ovechkin, and the Hawks have nothing to show for him or for Kubalik or for, you know what I mean? So this is what we don't really know about Davidson yet. And I do think it'll be more than one team, but it's probably not going to be more than 2 or 3 that Patrick Kane wants to go to. It's probably going to be, I mean, and by the way, the Rangers, if you haven't noticed, they kind of suck.
They're not the Rangers that they were last year.
Yeah, they're not like a team that's on the cusp of Stanley Cup right now.
Big surprise, Chris Kreider couldn't replicate his 50-goal season.
Weird, right?
Yeah. No, methinks the Rangers played over their heads last season, and now they're playing more like they should have played last season. So, I joked we're going to see the Rangers on Sunday. Yeah. The Blackhawks beat them again. Why would Patrick Kane want to request a trade that couldn't beat the Blackhawks twice?
That happens.
They are currently the top wild card team in the East.
And the East is it.
East is a
son
monster.
of a bitch.
It is.
East is a monster.
It's brutal.
Yeah. You know, with that, Kane is a very calculated person. He's not the wild child that he was when he first, became a star in Chicago. He's a very calculated guy, very conscious of his legacy here in the city and what he means and of his value. And, we talked about it earlier. All indications point to Kane and Toews meeting with Kyle Davidson next month at some point to kind of discuss the future. There's no reason that Patrick Kane can't bide his time to really see, okay, who are the contending teams? Who are the, which level of contention is each team at that's in the playoff picture? Are the Rangers contending enough that going to New York, playing with Panarin is enticing enough? Or is it I'm only going to look at teams that Patrick Kane would decipher as like they are going to go deep, and I need to be and me being a part of it makes the most sense. Is it New Jersey? Is it
that would be a scary team?
Is it Colorado? Is it Edmonton? Like, is it he's really going to I believe he's really going to take some time and decipher things. And I also think he's so calculated that he may not think that going to any of these teams is going to be worth it for him in his career and in his personal life. As much as it would suck, he may just ride out this season and see how things play out in the summer, where he has more control over where he wants to go, if he wants to go anywhere.
Maybe he wants to see where the Hawks land in the draft lottery.
Maybe.
And the Hawks can trade him. They can trade his rights at the draft. Now, you're not going to get a lot because all you're trading for is the week or so to negotiate with him,
right?
Ahead of him becoming an unrestricted free agent. But that's a reality, and there's a reality they might just want to finish a Hawk.
And if I'm Patrick Kane and I do want to get traded, and I make the decision and I want to win a cup, I'm not asking to get traded to any team in the East right now. It's too wide open. I mean, the team you think has got the best chance at the trade deadline could be eliminated in the first round because that's so. I'd be like, send me to Colorado.
Look at how high people were on the Panthers last year.
Yeah,
and they crapped out in the second round.
Maybe that's the team he goes to.
Oof. I don't know.
They used to be the only team the Blackhawks traded with.
Yeah, them and the Hurricanes.
Dale Talon's not there anymore,
Yeah.
so that was. But like, I don't know if I'm Patrick Kane, I want to get traded. I'm looking at one of the top teams in the West because that's an easier path to a Stanley Cup final. Colorado, man, when they get healthy, they're the favorite. I picked Calgary to win it all this year. Not looking great right now, but that's a team that, if they get their act together, will be a very tough playoff out. So
Yeah.
the East is just so tough. 1 week it's like Toronto are the world beaters, and then there's still Tampa out there and Boston and the Devils. Are they for real? I think they're for real. They may need an upgrade in goaltending for the playoffs, but it's so tough out there. I kind of want
Can't help
Patrick.
them there.
I kind of want Patrick Kane to go to the Devils now.
That'd be wild.
God, that
so
would be
fun.
a fun team.
Jack Hughes and
Bring in
Patrick
a
Kane.
veteran leader to show those kids how to do it in the playoffs. That'd be a lot of fun.
Hey, 2 for 1. Give them
buddy.
Taves and Kane.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Sure,
I want to. There's a couple of people in the chat. I saw earlier the Hawks should trade Kane for David Pasternak. That's not going to happen. No, the Avalanche are not going to trade Bowen Byram to the Blackhawks for Patrick Kane. These teams are trying to make their teams better, right? Bowen Byram's a huge part of the Avalanche's future.
Yeah.
David Pasternak is Boston's best player. They're not going to. That's not going to happen. So you need to temper your expectations a little bit on that. Here's one more thing I'll say before we wrap up. With the rumors of the cap only going up $1 million next year, there's a lot of teams that were sort of operating this year saying, all right, well, the cap's going to go up. We'll be able to do some things. Does that create a sudden, I don't want to say panic, but an urgency for teams like Boston, for teams like Pittsburgh, frankly, who's like trying to make one more run at it? Does that fact that it's only going up $1 million create some urgency for teams to get some stuff done this year? I wonder.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Maybe.
And that drives values up too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, changes the free agency market going into the next season if it's only going to jump up $1 million. So, a lot of factors play into that.
Well, just to expand on that a second, if the cap doesn't go up as much as people were hoping for, that is a bigger advantage for the Blackhawks come summer 2024.
Yeah.
Because there'll be less teams able to compete with them for some of those top free agents. Austin Matthews.
Well, and that forces them into some teams into being a little bit more keen on shedding bad contracts. Maybe if they expected to have some extra wiggle room where, this contract doesn't hurt us as much now because the cap went up $3 million. Well, now it's only going up $2 million or only up $1 million. So now that's different budgeting that you have to.
Yeah, I would expect at least 1 or 2 of those Peter Mrazek type trades on draft day this year.
Yep.
Taking that bad contract, Hawks have to spend a lot of money just to get to the cap floor.
Or even in season leading up to the deadline. Some teams might say we need to make some more cap room if we're going to really be players at the deadline.
Well, they could be the third team in one of these blockbuster deals that takes the bad contract from the team acquiring the superstar from another team. They could be that facilitator to take on the bad contract and get their first round pick or top prospect with it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Flexibility.
We've got Skokes in the chat, and he's been hanging with us all night. Can we give him one more? Can we give him one more Tankathon sim, Steven?
Yeah, let's do our guy.
Before we wrap up.
All right, hold on.
I know. I'll answer.
The vibes can
I'll
only
answer a question
improve from here.
while you're getting it ready.
Well, we have 49 likes. If it gets to 50, I'll do
Let's
it
get
right
that
now.
All right, get
50th
the-
like.
Give us 1 like. That's a good
55
Somebody in
likes.
here-
55 likes. I'm putting my foot down.
All right, 55.
I want 6 likes right now, and then we'll do it. In the meantime, Mark says Vegas is always good for getting in cap trouble. Bring back Robin Leonard. No.
He's dead. His hips fell off.
Also,
His
if you're
His hips are in worse
His
shape
hips-
than Peter Mrazek's groins.
His hips are lying.
if you're trying to establish a culture, I don't know if that's the guy I want.
There's a reason he's been on as many teams as he's been on.
Yes. I think that's. I just want to avoid that.
There's no reason for that.
He was great here. I thought he's a fascinating dude. He's a thoughtful dude. But if it's going to be a young team,
no.
I don't need any.
He served his purpose. He turned into Drew Comezzo.
Yes, I don't need any. I don't need any drama like that.
True.
Guys, I want to chime in and say we got the likes we need.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it
We got him.
All right,
for my neighbor Skokes.
should have shot harder.
All right, here we go.
All right, one more sim.
Likes.
We gotta make sure we reset it. Do we gotta reset it for it to work properly?
Don't make us find a new website.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Your last chance, take-a-thon.
The last one.
We're gonna throw you out the Shady Rays window if you don't help us here. You son of a bitch! This site sucks.
This is rigged.
We're not going out like that on a Friday.
Can Elon Musk buy take-a-thon so it gets shut down in a week?
Philly, St. Louis, Anaheim, Chicago. Good God.
This thing is rigged.
This is bullshit.
We're not leaving until the Hawks get 1 or 2.
I'm walking off the set. This is bullshit.
All right! All right! The Hawks get the top pick. And that's it.
Jesus.
They don't even need to do it. We'll send it to Gary Bettman. It's all done.
Yep.
Thanks for watching
Official.
the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. We love you guys. Have a good weekend.